Hello Internet, welcome to a new video. This is actually a step of one of my 3D printing projects, the Reaper shotguns from the game Overwatch. I needed to model some details in the shotgun, so I decided to make a tutorial showing how I did this. There are several options of modeling software that you can use to do this. In my case here, I'm gonna show how to use Tinkercad, which is a free software that you don't even need to install it. You can just use it in your web browser. So here's the model without the details that I want to add, and this is the model with the details already added. So I'm gonna show how I made these details that I was looking for. So let's jump into it. In the meantime, while you are modeling, it's very helpful to use some concept arts from the game as a reference. Okay, so let's start with this detail. For doing that, I'm gonna generate a featured shape. And for doing this, I'm gonna go here in Shape Generators. I'm gonna click in Featured, and I'm gonna drag the extrusion to our modeling area. After doing that, a little extrusion window will show up, and here we can customize the shape of our extrusion model. These squares and circles here can be used to give shape to our extrusion model. So I'm gonna move around these squares and circles until the outline of the extrusion model becomes similar to the concept art I'm using as a reference. Once I'm satisfied with the outline of the model and having it selected as a whole, I'm gonna move it to the place where I want the detail to be sculpted. For moving the model, you just have to click and drag it to the desired location. And by dragging these white squares in the corners of the model, I'm gonna resize the model to the desired dimensions. And we can use this arrow here to rotate the model to the desired orientation. And we can always return here to edit the outline of the model again if necessary. This detail in the Reaper shotgun repeats 3 times, so I'm gonna duplicate this extrusion model twice. And for doing that, we just need to have our model selected by clicking on it, and then we have to click here in Duplicate and Repeat. And after that, I can move the duplicated model to the right by using the right arrow key in the keyboard. And after that, you just have to click in Duplicate and Repeat again, and the next copy will be in the right place. To select all the models at the same time, you just have to hold Ctrl and click in each one of them. Finally, by moving this arrow here, I'm gonna set the height of the details that will be sculpted into the model. Still having all the details selected, I'm gonna duplicate them again to create an extra copy of them so I can model the same details on the other side of the shotgun. Now for applying all these details to the shotgun, I need to have it selected together with all the details, and I just have to go here and click in Group. And the first group of details in the shotgun is complete. I already did the same thing to the other side of the shotgun, replicating the same details. And now let's move to the next details that are a little bit more complicated. I will start by duplicating one of the extrusions that we already had. And I'm gonna edit the outline of this extrusion again. Now the process of moving, resizing, duplicating these extrusions is exactly the same process as I demonstrated before. Now the next details are a little bit more complicated than what I shown before. They have some sort of diagonal trimming, so now I'm gonna show how I did this cut. So for doing this, I'm gonna go here in Tinkercad, I'm gonna click in Basic Shapes, and I'm gonna drag this box to the modeling area. This box will be resized and utilized for trimming the details through a subtraction operation. The resizing and rotation of the box works the same way I shown before with the extrusions. So now that I set the box with the correct size and rotation, I'm gonna go here and make sure that the box is selected as a whole, not a solid. So now I'm gonna select the 3 details by clicking on them while holding Ctrl. And I'm gonna transform them into solids by clicking here. Having the details selected as solid and the box selected as a whole, you just have to go here and click in Group. And so you have executed the subtraction operation. And here are the details trimmed in the correct size. Now for merging the details with the shotgun model, I'm gonna drag this arrow down here. So I'm gonna lower the details and leave just a little portion popping up from the model. I'm always following here the concept art from the game as a template. So having the details in the correct height, I'm gonna select them and the shotgun together. And I'm gonna go here and click in Group. This time, since all the models are selected as solid, the operation is not gonna be subtraction, it's gonna be a sum. And one more detail in our shotgun is complete. At this point of the video, you must have realized that Tinkercad works with sum or subtraction operations or Boolean operations. It's not a sculpting software where you have an object that you model the same way you sculpt in clay or epox. Sculpting software like ZBrush and Mudbox are utilized for making more sophisticated and organic details, while in Tinkercad here I'm showing simpler details. So continuing here, the modeling of details or making additional bolts, it's very simple. You just have to go here in Tinkercad, Basic Shapes, and drag the diamond shape to the modeling area. This shape turns out very similar to the top of a boat after we resize it. And if you want to make the model more transparent, in the meantime while you're editing it, you just have to go here and select it as a whole, so you can see now the model in more detail. There are a bunch of preset models with different shapes in Tinkercad, so we don't have to model everything from scratch like what we did with the extrusions. And a tip here, for setting exact dimensions for the model, I can go here and click in these squares on the corners of the model, and then I can click here and type the number I want for its width and depth. Since there are multiple bolts in the gun, I'm gonna have to duplicate it. And for that I'm gonna go here and click in duplicate, and after that I just have to move the new copy. After having the bolts in the correct places, I'm gonna select them together with the shotgun model, and I'm gonna click here in group to merge the model with all the details. And here is our shotgun with all the bolts added. Now for making this detail here, we're gonna have to combine multiple shapes. And I want the borders of this detail to dig a little bit into the shotgun model, and I want the corners of the top part a little bit round. To fulfill these requirements, I'm gonna start with this basic shape of a ring. So I'm gonna drag and drop it here in the modeling area. And now I'm gonna resize it. So this ring is gonna dig a little bit into the model, making the depth detail that I want. And here I'm gonna reshape it the same way I did with the extrusion shape. And now I'm adding another shape here to the modeling area. Once I'm done resizing and cutting this shape, it's gonna look like the top of a big boat, which is exactly the detail that I want to replicate from the concept art template. And for doing that, we're gonna do another subtraction operation. So I'm gonna drag this basic box shape to the modeling area, and I'm gonna select it as a whole so I can subtract it from the round model. And here the subtraction operation is gonna be very similar to the previous ones. So having the models in the correct size and place, I'll go here and group them. In this kind of operation, the solid model will be subtracted, and the model set as a whole will perform the subtraction. Now that the prototype of the detail is ready, I'm gonna place it on the top of the shotgun model on the desired location. Here I'm gonna accelerate this part of the video a little bit because this part is very similar to what I did previously. I'll basically merge these details with the shotgun model, but this time the ring will be set as a whole to dig a little bit into the shotgun, subtracting a little portion of it, and the middle part of this detail is gonna be solid. It will be added to the shotgun model. I end up making many copies and variations of these details to see which one fits better, but in the end the first try worked fine. So as I mentioned, I'm first subtracting the ring from the shotgun model, setting the ring as a whole, and then I'm gonna add or sum the middle part, selecting it as a solid. And all these operations are done by clicking group. And another detail in our shotgun is complete. I think these examples already provided a general notion of how to make details by using a sequence of Boolean operations in Tinkercad. So I'm gonna play here a time lapse showing the final details I made, but I have used exactly the same techniques I have shown in this video to make them. And in the next video, I'm gonna start the 3D printing of this finalized model. So that's it. If you like this video, don't forget to give a like and comment. And subscribe to this channel to receive the next videos. I'll see you next time. Ciao!